And we're live, I think. We're a lot more alive than the Boston Celtics were tonight at Madison Square Garden, a place where I absolutely love to watch the Celtics play. Does not hold true tonight as they fall to the New York Knicks, 109-94. I am your host. I guess we're missing a couple peeps tonight. John Zanis is on the IR apparently, but we have Boomer Nick, everybody, the man, the myth, the legend, CLNS underscore Nick on Twitter. Nick Gelso, good friend slash owner of the whole damn thing here. And Nick, who better than you to bring on after a performance like this to just scream into the abyss?
Did they plan it this way, Jimmy? I mean, like, what the hell? I mean, it couldn't have been more in my feasting table. Like, the threes. I mean, here's what I gotta say. Like,
yeah. What really stood out to
okay,
you first in this one?
what
What
really
stunk
stood
the
out to
most?
me, what really stood out to me was every time they did fundamental things. They ran the ball. They put Tatum. I mean, when he was there, but they ran the ball. They put the ball down low. They ran some plays, and it wasn't just three after three after three after three after three. They actually
Well, it was
cut
the
the
start.
lead back. They cut the lead back when they started doing that because the first quarter was just a distance shootout, and they were
Right.
just clanking them everywhere. 2 for 18 at the half. How does that even happen? I mean, coaches should get. I don't know. I know the philosophy. I get it, but it's just not fun to watch.
Yeah, this one was, I texted a couple. I think I texted the group like 2 minutes in this game. I said I already hate this game, and it was after I think the
Me
Celtics
too.
missed like four straight wide open threes, and you could just tell it was going to be a long night. And it just felt like, I mean, I gotta,
It
almost
was
feel bad.
painful.
I gotta feel bad for Scal and Mike tonight because
Yeah.
they were running out of like positivities. I mean, it felt like the Celtics were clawing back into this game for all four quarters. Like they were just
Eternity.
consistently down 10 points to 14 points to 9 points to 13 points. It was they couldn't get anything going. I thought the refs kind of lost a little bit of control in this one. I mean, are they still reviewing that Marcus Smart play, that Marcus
I
Smart
know.
follow with Brunson? I
I
mean, that was
know.
a 15-minute review that both sides ended up hating in the end.
Yep.
And that kind of sums it up. This was a frustrating game for the Celtics. They couldn't get anything going from beyond the arc. Like you said, I think, what did you say, 2 of 18 at half? They were 1 for
At the
10
half, yeah.
in the first quarter. 15 points scored in the first quarter, their lowest amount all season long. And it honestly didn't get that much better. I mean, it's tough not to crack 100 points in today's NBA, and these guys ended up with 94, and it was ugly. So, again, no Jaylen Brown tonight. Certainly a night where they could have used him because nobody could get anything going. I won't say nobody. Malcolm Brogdon did his thing tonight.
He had a good game.
He was efficient. He had a good game, but he's not supposed to be your leading scorer. He's supposed to be your, third leading scorer. And again, when Jaylen Brown's out, make it your second leading scorer. But this was a horrible Tatum game for a number of reasons. Obviously, he didn't have a shot there. 6 from 18 from the field, 1 of 9 from 3, 14 points, 2 technical fouls, and I don't know, unlimited bitching to the referees.
That's
And it wasn't
mean,
just
we
him. I mean, a lot of guys were frustrated with the whistle tonight. Some of it was justified, but you gotta play the damn game. You
the
gotta
only time,
play.
Jimmy. The only time that they showed a
Very
false
weak
was,
tech, though. I will say this: the first tech on Tatum was extremely weak. I don't think he needed to bark at the official, but he did get pushed on the dunk, and it did seem like the whistle wasn't really going in his favor, the Celtics' favor tonight. But just play the game, man. You don't want to get. You don't want to hear hit. You don't want to be the guy hearing hit the road jack on the road as you're storming into the tunnel down double digits. That's an extremely tough look. Frustrating game for him. And he leads the way with this team, so they kind of go as he goes. Marcus Smart, try as he may, didn't have enough tonight either. 19 points from him, 7 to 15 from the field. Not a horrible game by any stretch. But with Tatum playing the way he played and no Jaylen Brown, there's just not enough. I don't care what team I don't care who you are. Your two best players.
I don't know, Jimmy. I mean, they
Aren't
still could
there.
have competed.
I think they competed. I will give them this. They didn't lay down and die. They did. They did keep it consistently within shouting distance, but they couldn't go on
Crying
that run.
distance.
They went on a 10-0 run to get within 10, and they couldn't go
Yeah.
on that second, 8
I mean,
8-2 run, right?
It was a typical last night of a road trip type game. I said it this afternoon. I was talking to Guy, and I'm like, this is a loss tonight. I could feel it. Yeah, I could feel it. I could feel it. And they don't seem to practice, Jimmy. I mean, I keep track of it by what what pressers are, the media veils are up on the channels because I don't cover anymore. They used to be every other day. I mean, you can't get a shoot around now.
It's the NBA, man. I mean, it's just the way it is.
It's showing. It shows. I mean, I don't want to hear, we had good looks tonight with that attitude that he's going to have. You know who I'm
Well, they
talking
did
about.
though, but they did.
I don't
they did
care.
Have some good looks.
A miss and a miss and a miss is a bad look.
No, I know, but he's gonna say it because it's true.
But it's not. I mean, yeah, we had good looks. There were bad shots because you're not making them. You're not making them. So when you run, you're scoring and going on runs. So I mean, I don't. I know the philosophy. Whatever the math is, it works out that it's better if you shoot threes. But I don't think
Yeah.
if you only make them 20% of the time. I mean, you gotta at some point adjust. Even if it's the last half of the fourth quarter when you're down by 10 and they're still not falling. At that point, try to go, run. If you can't run, push it down in the post or not even a low post. Go to the high post.
They don't have a post game. Nick, there's
Al
no post game.
Horford has a great post game. We
Not
are
anymore.
all forgetting. Yes, he does. Against Milwaukee, they posted him 4 possessions in a row, and 4 good things happened.
I like this guy.
Instead, they take him and they push him out to the corner, and he just stands out there, and he's ineffective if he's not hitting. And I think he was the only guy to hit threes tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Nick, Al Horford has his game has evolved to the 3-point line, and
But he's still a good post player.
he can be when they use him in that way, but this team is more of a 3-point shooting team. They'd probably rather have him fading out a little bit. Yeah, by more I mean only, but
all.
yeah, right. So, and with the way Rob Williams is playing or not playing, they just don't have that. What's the word I'm looking for? They don't have that presence. Thank you. They don't have that presence in the paint or down low in the post. So they do rely on the 3. They live by the 3, and tonight they died by the 3. The oldest saying in the book when it comes to basketball. So we have to be prepared for these games on occasion.
Well, let me tell you,
and to be completely honest, Jason Tatum, as great as he's been this season, this isn't a great shooting year for him. Look at the numbers. So
no, but it's great everywhere else, though, Jimmy. I mean, his rebounds are up, his assists are up.
That's not my point. That's not my point. I'm talking about scoring and shooting, and when you get into a situation where, but when you get into a situation where the shots aren't falling, but you rely heavily on the shots falling, then you run into a game like you did tonight. And you got to give the Knicks credit too.
Yeah.
They had a few guys. Yeah, they're playing with a little bit of a passion right now. They're getting fired up in Madison Square Garden. Randall's having a great season. We obviously know Brunson's sort of turned everything around over there, especially as of late. Manuel quickly coming off the bench for them. I think he had 23 or somewhere around there. So they were getting it from a number of different places tonight. And this was a big, big game for the Knicks. Bigger game for the Knicks than it was the Celtics, to be quite honest. But this isn't a game where you're not going into panic mode because you lost a game on the road to the Knicks shorthanded.
It's an annoying
without,
loss.
Your second best player. So yeah, it's an annoying loss, an annoying game. A commenter said this was an annoying game. It was a frustrating game. I think the best thing the Celtics can do is completely forget this game. Just forget it ever happened. I'm talking straight up amnesia. I don't even want them to watch the film of this game. I just want them to pretend it never happened. That's how frustrating of a game it was. So.
I think they should.
We are going to have guys. I should have mentioned. We do have Bobby Manning at Madison Square Garden. We have Josue Pavon at Madison Square Garden. Those guys are going to be joining us at some point during the show. I think we're going to get Josue first, though. You can never tell with Josue. He's a bit of a wild card. He's 1 second he's here, the next second he's there. So hopefully we see Josue sooner than later. Bobby is doing his thing, and then he's going to join us. And we'll get some reaction, some player reaction, some coach reaction, whatever that may be. Certainly no one's happy.
Great. No, it was great looks.
You saw the frustration tonight, and that's another thing that that bothers me about the Celtics team sometimes is that they tend to lose their composure at points. A lot of complaining, a lot of frustration with the officials. It's one thing if you're gonna get frustrated or if you're going to get sort of snippy at the opposing team. I'm much cooler with that because that's competitiveness, that's an edge, that's that's what it's all about. But when it starts to become more involved with, oh, we're boo-hoo, we didn't get this call, or why did they get that call, or why did you overturn this? Like that's when it just gets annoying. And it's like what people don't like about basketball is kind of what you saw tonight. I mean, if you hated basketball and you watched this Celtics game, you're good for another 5 years. You're probably never going to turn on a basketball game again. It was just one of those horrible games.
Yeah.
Any positives that you want to take out of this one, Nick? I know that's
Brogdon. I think that he was great. Right? He's not our leading scorer, but he was great tonight, and he was on the receiving end of some of those fast breaks. But what could you really be positive about? Marcus was okay. I mean, but the truth of the matter is, Jimmy, we didn't. Sorry, my hang on a minute. I have an ad going off here.
You're good.
All right.
Stop. Get off the internet and focus. You're not even looking at the camera right now. You're scrolling Twitter.
Because you know why? No, I'm not. ESPN. And I'm going to drop the F-bomb, but I won't.
Don't.
ESPN plays videos in the middle of the box score. Like, I didn't even do anything and the video started. It was a commercial. So I had to X out the box score. Yeah,
that's how you get ad revenue. They just got to play for that. They got to play for that. That's an autoplay. That's autoplay.
Yeah, but I was on it for 10 minutes before it played, and then all of a sudden it blasted in my ears. Anyway, I don't know how you could really speak positively when the Celtics made 0 adjustments. Look at the minutes. I mean, that starting lineup, wasn't getting it done. Rob Williams wasn't getting it done. Yet Muscala only plays 11 minutes, and here's a guy who I think he came in, he was the only guy to hit a three.
You got a Bucks troll
immediately.
In the chat.
I saw him. I kind of like it, to be honest. The Celtics deserve to be trolled tonight, as long as they don't disrespect. But,
that's fair.
To me, and then you look at Grant Williams.
Here we go. This is fair, too.
Where is Grant Williams? Where is he? Ever since he publicly leaked or whatever the $20 million, he's disappeared. He became a negative $20 million player because he was never a $20 million player. The Celtics need Grant Williams. They need him to play defense, to hit three-pointers, to have energy, not to lose your composure, and not to just be invisible. I mean, I had to X out the box score, but I think he was 1 for 3.
Grant? I have it right here.
Yeah.
Grant Williams tonight, and we'll get the graphic up probably at some point if we're still talking to him. 2 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 0 for 2, Nick, from the field. His 2 points came on 2 free throws. So 1 steal, 0 blocks, 2 turnovers, 4 fouls, and I think I counted 15 tears at one point.
And you know what else too I see in the chat room? Everybody, it's the same people. I was in the chat room after the Sixers game, and I saw all these same people praising Tatum, hitting the 3 to win the game, and now everybody's going to pick on Tatum. Look he lost his composure tonight.
What do you mean pick on? They want us to, or they're saying we?
Well, they're going, beat up on Tatum, beat up on.
We will. Listen, everyone's gonna get their time. We're gonna.
Why doesn't someone ask where Jaylen Brown is? I understand personal reasons, and hopefully it's nothing.
Well,
bad.
there you go. So, I mean, Nick, we're not gonna harp on a guy who's not.
No, but I mean, listen. But listen, he didn't show up the game before the All-Star game. He showed up at the All-Star game, and then he didn't show up the 2 games after. I mean, as far as I know, he could have the flu. He could have a sore throat. Something horrible could have happened. I hope not. God bless. God willing.
All right. Well, it is what it is. I'm not talking about a guy who didn't show up tonight. We'll talk about the 12 guys who did show up and did nothing. Yeah, exactly.
They didn't show up.
Physically, they showed up at least. I don't know, Nick. I mean, we what is this? When was the last time Grant made an impact? Okay, yeah. I mean, we were just talking about Grant. I mean, it's becoming a bit of an issue, I think, now. I mean, it has been an issue. I think I got some criticism last couple of shows ago because I said Grant's been a non-factor. This basically most of this season. I mean, give or take, sure, you're going to have games here and there where you make a bit of an impact. But overall, I'm wondering, and I brought this up to Bobby, and I asked him if he thinks this is playing a part of it. But, I mean, this is a contract year for him. Obviously, the $20 million a year was big news going into the season. It's popped up here and there throughout the course of this season. I wonder how much of that is on his mind. If he's sort of just like in his mind counting the dollars that he's losing out on every game that he sort of has a game like this. I just, at this point, I don't know if he really quite has the trust of Mazzulla either, based on the playing time that he's been getting. Nor really should he. I mean, tonight he played 16 minutes, and if you look at the game log, which I'm going to pull up right now, 16 minutes. He played 28 against Philly, 6 against Indy. So it's kind of all
over the place.
Yeah, I mean, he is still getting, typically he's getting 20 plus minutes a game. I mean, it does vary, but
Indy was the outlier, and it was an oddball that he only played that many minutes. What he played, like 8 minutes.
It's an oddball, but yeah, he played like 6 minutes. It's an oddball, but it's not that crazy based on what you've seen at points this season. Now, a big reason for the Grant being focused on is because Rob's been in and out of the lineup all year too. And here he is tonight, 6 points, 3 of 4 from the field. Again, just 4 field goals, right? 6 rebounds, 2 blocks, and -9. I've said this a number of times on this show, almost feels like every time. If I do have one concern about a player, it's not Grant, because I think Grant is coming back down to earth. I think he's somewhere in between the worst that we've seen of him this year and the best that we saw of him last year. I don't think Grant's like a starter in the NBA. I think he can be a role player in some capacity on a team, and I think that's kind of where we're sort of getting to with him. But Rob, the hopes and the expectations at one point were up here, right? They were way up, and now that's something else that's been dropping, I think, considerably. And I know people are going to say, well, give him a chance. He's not 100% healthy, or he's this, he's that. They're not looking for him. He's, still one of the best defenders in the NBA, yada, yada, yada. But when I consistently see box scores that are like 6 points, 8 points, whatever. I know sometimes his rebounds are into the double digits, and that's fine. I want to see it more consistently. 29 minutes tonight is actually a lot of. I feel
a
like
lot for him.
Yeah, that's a lot of minutes. But the impact isn't there, and he did keep a couple extra balls alive tonight. I do recognize that, but he's not as big of an impact as he needs to be. He's just not, and you need a guy. You need a guy that's going to have more of an effect on the offensive side of things. Now, whether that's all his fault, it's not. I think the Celtics are also guilty for not involving him more. I think Rob needs to get himself involved and get himself going, but they need to look for him more too. And Tatum actually did look for him at one point early on in the game, and he got an easy 2. I mean, Rob could barely get up for the dunk, it seemed, but he still got an easy 2 out of it. Tatum passed up the 3 and whipped it down low to Rob for an easy 2. And honestly, I wish they did that a lot more. I still don't think Rob's, his freakish athleticism is not there. And that was the most fun thing about watching him. And that is, if you want to be concerned about anything, that's where my concern is right now. It's not with Tatum on an off night. It's not with
my concern is his just being spaced out, man. Like, he's not involved in the game at all. And a lot of that, I hear what you're saying, and I agree. It's a lot on his teammates and his coach to get him involved, but it's most on him. And he's just disengaged. Like, he looks like he's just standing and watching everybody, and he's so integral because he's such an impact player in whatever minutes would have been cut or traded if he was on a.
No, you keep going, Nick. Don't worry.
I thought you told me to just look at it.
I didn't mean. I did say that.
Yeah, listen, man. I am a little out of shape here. It's been a long time. I'm just saying. I listen to the boss, man. But I mean, I just think he's such an impact player when he's on. But we've not even seen a glimpse, maybe one, and it's only been in short stints. And you're right, he has a couple double-digit rebounding games, but you know what? Another big Muscala could do that. Rob Muscala. That is
Muscala. Don't get me started on why Muscala can't get some more minutes.
I can't understand
why. The game
of
his career, and then he gets benched.
I don't understand it, and it's not like what Joe had out there was working, especially being he wants them to shoot threes. They're getting open threes. They're missing. Why not put in Pritchard, Muscala? and just mix it up a
Good
little
question.
bit.
I mean, they could not buy a basket tonight. They got some 3-point shooters on their bench. What did Hauser end up playing tonight? I mean, I didn't see
16, I think. He was 1 for 4
minutes.
from 3.
No, he was 0 for 3 from 3. Hauser
1 for 4 from the field then.
Yeah. Hauser was 0 for 3 from 3. Muscala was 1 for 2. Pritchard didn't even play. I mean, Pritchard played
2 minutes
at the end of the game. It didn't matter at that point. Yeah, I mean, there's some truth to that, Nick. Especially on a night where it looked like, White was a question mark going into the game. Obviously, he played 31 minutes, so maybe I don't know how much the ankle was an issue with him, but he was 4 of 11 from the field, and he didn't hit a 3-point tonight either. So there was definitely.
He was at least moving.
No, I know. I mean, my point is, I'm agreeing with you. There were definitely other avenues that I think that Mazzulla could have taken to try to spark the team. I mean, I remember earlier this year, he put Pritchard in with, I think, Cornette, and they completely sparked the team, and they wanted to.
And those two guys combined 5 minutes. Yeah.
Run. Yeah, and I'm not. Listen, I don't want to get Cornette talk going on here, especially with a. But just for an example, I mean, that could be Muscala though. Like he could be that guy, right? Because we know he's capable of hitting threes. We know he's, he can obviously grab boards, and he's not scared of taking shots. I mean, if one thing to say about Muscala compared to Rob Williams is that Muscala will take the shot. He'll look for the shot. He won't shy away from it, and he's motoring out there. So if you have an issue with Rob on offense, and if you really need points, which I think the Celtics really did, that would have been an idea. That would have been something that I would have done earlier in the game as well. So I think it's fair to question that tonight for sure.
I think even just for energy purposes. I mean, usually you put in, when Grant is playing well, you put in a guy like Grant for energy. You could put in a guy like Muscala for energy. I mean, just to try to get some sort of a combination going, but you're not going to have any luck if you just keep going with the same thing. And usually when Tatum, you could look at Tatum's box score and know how he, you don't even have to watch the game and know what kind of body language he had and everything, what style of play he was playing. I mean, one free throw. I mean, it's a get for Tatum. Again, when you're.
That's why I was so frustrated tonight, though.
I know. Well, listen. Okay, so I lost my train of thought. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Stop reading. Stop
reading. I can't. If people are private messaging me,
don't. Amit, don't private message Nick. You can't handle the pop-ups and his train of thought. You were talking about Tatum's free throws. Go.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so complaining about them, well, that's the other thing. Like, Jason, no one's listening to you anymore. So, they are, I mean, a lot of times he's getting bumped. But he's like a broken record. No one listens to him unless they're putting the T on him. And the only time that the Celtics really, really showed a pulse tonight was when he got the T. The whole bench, got up. All night long, I'm watching the bench. I mean, even when they went on that 10-0 run, there's zero emotion. So, really, I think you chalk it up to last game of a road trip. I mean, Philadelphia, they didn't play great, Jimmy, but it was a great game, and they pulled it out, right? But really, I think you know what it's like at these road trips. The last game, you just want to get the hell home. And it's starting to snow in New York, So, JB's not there. So, I think they mailed it in tonight to a certain degree. And New York, give them credit. Because they kept attacking. And that's one thing the Celtics don't do well. They don't, seize what's working well and attack. Keep going to it until it doesn't work anymore. They only do that with three-point shots. And I'm not, just trying to be picky here. I'm being honest. This is what it is. I mean, here I'm talking from perspective of you guys are analyzing these games every night. I'm just watching it as a regular observer. And to me, when I watch a game, I see 14 free throws. And then I have people God love him. I love the Scotsman. He's texting me and calling me because he wants to bitch about free throws. They don't draw contact. They don't deserve whistles if they're going to shoot everything from 24 feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's all I got.
Yep.
That's
okay.
all I got. Where's Josue? Let's go. I'm running out of gas here.
No, that's fine. I'm actually on Twitter right now seeing if our guys Bobby and Josue are All right, what do we
Rob
got here?
is
Some
such a
Missoula.
Rob.
This is a Bobby Manning tweet. Some Missoula highlights. Like the 3-point attempts they generated. I told you that he would say that. He wanted
said
them.
it too.
He wanted. No, I.
We
I
both
told,
said it.
I know. He wanted them early due. He wanted them early due to Knicks' struggles, giving them up above the break and defending at the rim. Rotation's a matter of matchups, and left it at that. Said fouls called correctly against Philadelphia were different. I don't know what that means. In terms of Tatum's ejection, said players are human and will show emotion. So, Missoula kind of going up after his players there.
I mean, that's nothing new either. I think that's great. Coaches should have the players' backs. And one thing that Joe does do is
First career ejection for Tatum. I didn't realize that. I know, but I had to get that out there.
That's
First
not
career
true.
ejection.
That's
according
true.
to Gary Washburn just said that, or he tweeted
got
that.
ejected in. Well, that was preseason when he got ejected in
Doesn't count.
Ontario.
That doesn't
Yeah,
count.
was that? I could have sworn he's gotten ejected before. Maybe on a double T.
All right, what was your point?
My point was that I don't know because you interrupted me and I was right in mid sentence, but I don't really remember.
Really? You don't remember?
No, I don't remember where I was going. I don't remember where I was going.
Okay.
With that, man.
All right then. Well, there goes that. So you can think about that for a minute. What do we got for other? What do we have?
Oh, I know
here?
where I was going. I was going with free throws, right? So, you're not gonna get free throw attempts unless you come within the 3-point line. And I know where I was with Missoula. It's good that he has the players' backs, and sometimes I think he says some really off-colored things because it takes the attention away from the players and people criticize him. Maybe I don't know, but this stuff, just please, Jimmy, take a look at New York's box score. Like, that looks like a real basketball game. 34 free throw attempts, right? Yep. 31 3-point attempts. I think that's even too many, but 31 is reasonable in today's game. 11, what was I going to say? Only 11. Well, they both only had 11 turnovers, but Boston had 20. No, Boston had 11 too. But Boston's missing long threes, and that sparks the running game, and New York sees that, capitalizing on that every second. I'm trying to figure out if Joe used all his timeouts.
Probably not. Let's just leave it at that. I mean, why would they?
Yeah,
they're down 15.
Because
he doesn't use them when they're down 2. Yeah.
He had 2 left. So maybe when in the first half or the first quarter when they were playing like dog, and the Madison Square Garden is, which I love, chanting Celtics suck. I love that. Maybe then call timeout. Maybe when Tatum is losing his composure and going at the refs, maybe stop the game. Maybe when you got Rob Williams playing 29 minutes out of nowhere tonight, or maybe Tatum has 36 minutes. So call some timeouts just to let the guys sit and get a breather, for crying out loud.
So I don't know where, like the rest of you guys, I don't know where the hell John Zanis is or where he's been for the last, 3 weeks. But anyways, he's still on Twitter. He's still paying attention because he's still tweeting away. We got Josue Pavon joining us right now. What's up, Joe?
How we doing?
I just want to, right before we get to you, Josue, I just want to say this. I'm just looking at a John Zanis tweet right now.
Yeah, how is he tweeting but not on the show?
Because he can do whatever he wants, I guess. He's probably watching right now, too.
He's one of these burners in the chat room, I'm telling you.
All right, this is his tweet. In his last 11 games, Jason Tatum has had 6 absolutely abysmal shooting performances. Of course, tonight, 6 of 18, 1 of 9 from 3. Against Indy, 9 of 25, which is 3 of 12 from 3. Against Memphis, 3 of 16, 1 of 8 from 3. Against Philly, 5 of 15, 1 of 5 from 3. Against Phoenix, 3 of 15, 3 of 10 from 3. And then against the Lakers, 8 for 25, 3 of 10 from 3. So
it would have been easier just to check the box score.
That's
the last 5 games.
That's what John's hot on. So just picture him screaming about Jason Tatum's shooting performance for 45 minutes, and that's what you guys are missing out on tonight. Josue, what's up, dude?
Nothing much, man. We're trying to collect everything that went down tonight.
Yeah, we all are.
The Knicks have this media section, old school section row, and I'm in
where are you, in the boxing closet or something? Where are you?
You know the vibes. You know how it is in here. They got the old school working station. These
it's like
cubicles.
real mob. You know, it's mobbed out there, MSG.
Josue,
Go that far, but I'm in the corner room just gathering my thoughts here. And look, the Knicks really wanted this one. I mean, I don't want to put it all on New York, but I give them a lot of credit in this game. You know?
Yeah, you got to give them credit.
Josue, where your audio is a little poppy right now. I don't know if that's something you can fix, but in the meantime, I wanted to ask you. You can get that fixed, but when you do come back, what's the vibe? Did you go to the Celtics locker room? Did you go to the coaches? What did you hear from anybody after the game? What should we know about this, I guess, post-game, sum it up for us. Were these guys frustrated as much as they looked out there on the court?
Well, to be honest with you, I haven't gone down to the bench right after. I was just going to dump on and talk to you guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, give us something from being at the game that we couldn't probably capture over the television screen. Were these guys as frustrated? Could you see what we could kind of see? Obviously Tatum getting ejected and whatnot. Nick, are you typing?
Yeah, I mean no, that's not me.
Oh.
Look, that in
Tatum getting ejected didn't help things. Obviously, it was a momentum swing, and I feel like a lot of the times the Celtics need him to come up big in that fourth quarter, and it wasn't the case. But the New York Knicks, I mean, the Celtics went on that 10-0 run, and that was the only semblance of some sort of consistency that we saw in the offense. I mean, they just couldn't get it together, and I felt like although they were shooting like 70% inside the arc, they kept chucking up threes in that first half. It didn't do them any favor.
No, I didn't. I mean, they got cold. I mean, one of the things Nick wondered is if they should have went to the bench a little bit sooner, maybe with some different guys, bring Pritchard in there, maybe go to Muscala a little bit sooner. I mean, I know this is reaching, but even Hauser's been hitting shots left and right recently. Maybe he could have been a guy shooting a little bit more. Just like going somewhere else, because obviously, Tatum didn't have his shot tonight. No Jaylen Brown. They needed offense from somewhere, as Josue, I think, is dealing with some connection issues. So, Nick, it's me and you again. Oh, he's going to fix it. Okay, cool. While he is fixing his audio issues, we will remind everybody that tonight's show is brought to you by our good friends at Athletic Greens. You want to head over to athleticgreens.com/garden for a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. As you guys know, I'm a huge Athletic Greens guy. There's a lot of smart people aside from me who are also big on Athletic Greens. A number of podcasts also vouch for these guys for a reason. 75 vitamins, minerals, my favorite word, adaptogens, prebiotics, probiotics. If you're looking for something to start your day and get you going in the right direction, and you don't want to deal with the coffee jitters or the crash of caffeine, AG1 might be a good place to start. Not only that, guys, but you can stack the hell out of it like me. I stack it with beef organs. I stack it with 20 minutes of meditation. I stack it with some milk, get the bones strong. Toss it in a cup of water, down the hatch. If you're in a rush, get the travel packet, throw it in your gym bag, throw it in your briefcase, your backpack, whatever it is you need. Honestly, in my opinion, it's the most complete sort of vitamin, vegetable, fruit. Listen, we're not getting enough vegetables. Let's just be honest. So this is going to stop that for you, and it's going to get you going in the right direction. Nick, you looking pretty good these days. Are you on your AG1-ish too?
Dude, man, that's what started it. I continued down 38 pounds.
Wow.
Since October.
Look at you. Congratulations.
So, I'm pretty pumped. I got about 15 more to go. But
okay.
AG1 has been a big part of it because it's helping me really with my greens.
It's a good habit.
Well, it is a good habit.
It's all about healthy habits too, right?
It is really about healthy habits, and having that in the morning. And you know what? Sometimes I'll freeze it the night before, and in the morning I'll have it like a slushie. So I'll take the dog out, leave it on the counter. Yeah, and I have it like a slush. Squeeze lemon in it.
Slushy. That's kind of.
I squeeze weird, lemon in it. It is almost like an Italian ice, Jimmy.
Okay, hey, to each his own.
I'm not kidding.
You gotta get creative with it.
You
could probably toss it in some Greek yogurt too, if that's your thing too. A little added nutrients to the Greek yogurt. Get your protein while you're at it. Also, guys, you won't find this deal anywhere else because we're gonna give you a free. Whoa! Whoa! Wait a
Whoa,
second.
wait a second. Where's the hard hat?
Wait. Oh, there is supposed to be a hard hat on that T-shirt. You're right. There
Jimmy,
better
the
be.
one that got ordered has the hard hat, I promise
Okay.
you.
Well, I'm just stunned to see this shirt because I thought we were going to be giving away phenomenal T-shirts, but look at what we have here, folks. The second T-shirt from the Garden Report, and this one looks like the love is getting shared around by all. We've got me on the left, John, who used to be on the show, no longer with us, Bobby Manning in the middle, Josue, and Sherrod Blakely, the whole crew. If this doesn't get you guys to pop on a little order of athletic greens, I don't know what will. I got to get my hands on that shirt, Nick. I know that
Yep.
I know that these shirts are hot commodities, and I still haven't even gotten my phenomenal one. But if I don't
No,
get
it's here.
this one, I'm gonna
Your
be.
phenomenal one is here in the office,
Yeah.
Jimmy. So what? But here's the thing, and
That's a
this
good looking
this
shirt.
is-
It looks like the reviews are pouring in right now, too. By the way.
This is now what will happen this time around,
Yeah.
folks. When
I don't
you
know what looked
order-
like. Bobby had white hair in that, but he doesn't in the. I
No,
don't
it's
think
his
he
bucket
does.
hat. It's his bucket
It's his
hat.
bucket hat. Yeah. That's what it is. It's a bucket
So
hat.
like,
And I
here's
better
the-
have a hard hat on.
You do. I promise you. But guys, here's how it's gonna work. Like very soon. So the last batch of phenomenal T-shirts are ordered and they're shipping right from the printer. J&R Marketing. They're very good. They're in Rhode Island. Check
No
them
free
out.
ads.
But anyway, they've been with us for like 12
All right,
years.
what
I
are they
can't
then?
now-
Who are
Okay.
they?
So anyway,
Wait, who are they?
J&R Marketing. They're a great
out-
company, man.
shout
They
out
built
J&R
our
Marketing.
websites, so anyway, but the store is like done. I just have to flip the switch on once all the inventory gets there. And when you order Athletic Greens and any of our sponsors, any of them, moving forward, you'll have a promo code where you can go and choose Phenomenal,
Wow, you can pick what you
or Jimmy Hard Hats, or the Garden Report, or a CLNS coat, all that kind of stuff. So that will be coming.
Nick,
like,
we have to talk
the
about
fir-
like what's the cut that we all get. I mean, if you're using my name and likeness on a T-shirt, I better be getting a cut of this
But
T-shirt.
here's the thing, Jimmy, is they have a promo code where they get it for free. So it's basically like I'm investing in your brand. So there you
Yeah,
go,
what's
man.
10% of zero? Yeah, what's 10%
I'm
of zero?
investing exactly. Like I don't charge them.
Yeah.
They buy the sponsors, we give them the shirt and promote your brand. So I
Okay.
really thanks to everybody because the phenomenal shirts. I mean, we sent out I think 50 or 60, but we ran out at like
Bobby.
40.
Yes,
Can
he
Bobby? Yes, he can.
Well,
Yes,
that's
he
Nick.
can.
When we all get together later this week, make Bobby spend about 20 minutes autographing all the phenomenal
Sharpie
T-shirts.
I got a Sharpie ready to roll.
I love that idea. Anyways, so that's Athletic Greens. They're a great sponsor of ours, and we do appreciate the support, guys. So on a serious note, thank you guys. And honestly,
I see. I'm
it
in the
doesn't
chat, Jimmy.
it doesn't just help us. It helps you. It's a legitimately awesome product, and we try to bring healthy products to you guys, not just Athletic Greens, but we've got a couple other ones that we've had over time on the show, and we'll get to maybe another one of those later. And honestly, we need all the healthy products we can get when we watch when we spend like an unhealthy 3 hours that we just did watching a game that
Can't
we
get
just
back.
watched. Yeah. So
You brought that. You know what? I did feel bad for Gorman, and Scal was trying so hard to be, optimistic and loud and like excited. Yeah, I mean, I felt bad, and it's Gorman's first game back. It just sucked.
yeah, it did suck. What do we got
But
here?
they're home now. Good home stretch coming up.
What do we got here? Hold on. Horford versus Knicks. 13 points, 5 of 9 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3. He had the first 3 of the game, and then that's prior to them going completely cold. And then after the game, it looks like we've got a quote here from Al. I see this as a great opportunity because these are the games where we need to understand how we play out
Such an
there.
Al quote.
And that's what this last stretch has been all about. So, again, I haven't watched the video.
That's
But
an Al quote.
it sounds like a mini call out to the young guys that they need to bring it every game. They can't pick
Jimmy.
and choose. You can't pick and choose when you want to play a certain way, against certain opponents and not against others. So again, I haven't seen it. I don't know the tone of this, but Al's obviously been around a long time. He's been on a lot of great teams. He's been on a lot of not great teams, underachieving teams, I imagine. So he probably can pick out games that are played sharper than other games, And sometimes you need to be the guy to say it, right? We're all thinking it. Someone needs to say it.
I mean, now you got really what's coming up to be an interesting, not that I want to look at the road
Big
ahead
games
so
coming
quick.
up here.
But I mean, you're looking at Cleveland. You have a rematch with New York next Sunday, and then Cleveland again next Monday, and then Portland comes to town. We know what Dame just did. So, Cleveland will listen. They'll bring their A game against Cleveland, I'm sure. This was the end of the road trip trap game against a good team. New York is good. We want to buy the shirts. Store coming, guys, and shipping will no longer be on me, so we'll only take a couple days.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah, the shirts will be coming.
Thanks for your patience.
But guys, what if we told you that you could get a free shirt? All you have to do is buy something that will make you healthier. Think about that.
That's it.
Anyways, so that was a quote from Al. Hopefully some other quotes will be trickling out. If you see anything, send
I
them
want
over
more
to me.
Missoula. Give me more Missoula,
Well,
man.
we got
It
one
had to
from
be-
Missoula on tonight's free throws. I
Yeah.
can't talk. Free throws disparity
can't
after
either.
being fine with it in Philly. He said, "How can I say this without getting in trouble? I thought it wasn't the Philly game." So, acknowledging the disparity without really acknowledging the disparity, I guess, tonight. And there
I
was a
don't really-
disparity.
Yeah, but
Again.
Jimmy, one team was entering the paint
But yeah, sure.
inside the three-point
But
arc,
Nick,
and the
Nick,
other
there
one
were
wasn't.
there were times, and I'm not going to get into it either because I don't really care enough to make it a big segment. But there were times where Celtics players felt that they got fouled while they were inside the paint or driving. So that's what he was referencing.
Yeah, but that would be effective if they didn't feel that way every time they miss a shot.
Right, exactly.
Okay, Joe, what?
No, I'm agreeing with you. Like the
So
word is out on
Joe-
these guys for sure.
Right, maybe Joe needs to stop encouraging it and start reeling it back in. Because when the playoffs come, it's going to be, I don't know what the frick is going on here. All of a sudden NBC popped on here. Which is fine. I mean, they're friends of ours, but I can't
You
turn
trying
off
to
the TV
this
now.
is the boomer trying to work electronics, folks. One thing at a
So
time. I don't
anyway,
even-
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, that's
Let
my
me-
take, man.
Let me guess, you forgot where you were at.
No, I know where I was at. Missoula
Nick,
needs to reel
mute
it back
yourself
in.
and turn the
Fix
damn
the
TV
TV.
volume off, please. Jeez. Oh, now he's making me go solo, I guess. Okay. So we have Josue, who's trying to get his audio issues figured out. We got Nick trying to figure out how to put his TV on mute. Bobby Manning will be joining us shortly. And Nick, are you back? You are.
I'm
okay.
back.
And John
Batteries are dying.
John is like just tweeting off into the abyss. He's
Is
clearly
he
watching
tweeting
the
right
games.
now?
No, I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know what he's up to. But he will be back soon. I know that.
I'm gonna get him out of the penalty box.
We're being told that Tatum is speaking to media now, so Bobby will probably jump on with us after that. Sounds like we got Malcolm Brogdon, some Malcolm Brogdon audio earlier too. So he's always a good guy that kind of tells it like it is, straightforward guy. So hoping to see some accountability. Bobby just said he's on his way, so that's good.
Jimmy, I don't have much more to say about.
What about
this
Marcus Smart tonight? I thought he was hot and cold. I thought he did everything he could to try to get these guys
Me too.
going. And he's not a guy that you'll ever question his effort or intensity or whatever. He's just not a guy that's going to give you 30 points. So on a night where you kind of need that, he's not really the one who's going to get it to you. But I do think that there was that stretch there. I forget exactly when it was during the game, but he was really the only guy kind of keeping them in it. He was kind of doing everything he possibly could. 19 points tonight, 7 to 15 from the field. I mean, you'll take that shooting percentage from him any night of the week. 4 rebounds, 2 assists, nothing special there. 2 blocks of steal, and only 1 turnover. So, a little bit more less of a not a careless game by any stretch. Just again, not enough in the tank for these guys. I don't know if they're still coming off the high in Philadelphia.
Of the All-Star game.
The high of the All-Star game, yeah, where it was all about Tatum and Brown. Yeah, no, I don't think that was it either. I think that this
I don't either.
This
Jimmy.
was a
I'm being
one-off.
instigative.
I know. This was a one-off. And so
It wasn't a
it's
one-off
that.
though, Jimmy. It wasn't a one-off for one. It was a one-off, but it's not a one-off problem.
Was it or wasn't it?
No, it was, but it wasn't a one-off problem. Meaning, this is going to continue if they continue to just. This is the team. Like, why am I trying to change them? This is who they are.
It
They're
is
a
who they are.
three-point chucking team.
Yeah,
And
it's
if you
a night
don't
the shots
chuck
don't
in
fall.
like it, you don't watch. Because this is who they are. They're going to keep launching them. This is how Joe wants to coach them. And this is what we have to deal with. And you know what? I'd say, like, for the most part, it's worked out pretty good for them. So, I know everybody's falling over right now because I'm not flipping out, but it's worked out pretty well for them so far. They have a good record. I don't think it's the best in the league after tonight, but it's just painful to watch when it's this way. What?
No,
standings?
I mean, is it the Bucks now a number 1 seed? Because
I believe so.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, they're on a 14, 15-game win streak.
Not going to get too hung up on that, but you see, it looks
better.
like the Bucks have now moved into the 1 seed in the East. If you care about that at this stage in the season, then you aren't happy about that. Well, I mean, I wouldn't get hung up on
20 games left.
I know, but I wouldn't get too hung up on the fact that they aren't. There is a lot of time left still, but I would be hung up on the fact that the Bucks are on a roll right now. They're
Yes,
playing good
and it's
basketball.
it's the loss column where Boston is falling apart, and that is the here we go. We got Brogdon. Okay.
All right, folks, we have little Malcolm Brogdon here. Let's find out what he has to say after this loss. Hit it, Amit.
I thought we played good basketball. I thought we moved it. I thought we got the shots we want. That's a good defensive team.
I don't think we need to hear anymore.
A little choppy.
Especially in the half.
I
thought we played good basketball. I thought we moved it. I thought we got the shots we want. That's a good defensive team, especially in the half court over there. I thought we got the shots we wanted. We just didn't make a lot, especially from behind the perimeter. We're used to shooting a good percentage from the three. I think we let that affect our defense a good amount. So we struggled a little bit. I thought they played a good game. They had a good game plan for us. Just weren't able to knock them down and stay in the game. I thought we played good basketball.
All right. So, welcome to the show, Bobby Manning.
Yeah, would I miss everybody else?
Nice little entrance you had right there. We were just listening to Malcolm Brogdon. Were you there for that?
I was. I recorded that.
Okay. Oh, excellent. Well, thank you very much for doing that. Nick is I think coming back. I don't know what's up with him, but he'll be back. But what's up, dude? What are we?
You know the deal, Jimmy. Missed shots. One of those kind of nights. Yeah, you're getting post game for the most part.
Yeah.
Though, I think the Knicks threw some stuff at them that made things difficult. Officiating frustrations when you're as aggressive as they were in this game come into play. Al Horford said that this was one of their worst nights when it came to that, of course, with the ejection as well of Jason Tatum, which the game was out of reach at that point for the most part. Brogdon talking there as well about the missed shots. So you're not gleaning a ton game plan-wise in terms of difficult things. The Knicks created for the Celtics in this one, though Joe Mazzulla did speak on a few of them. Knicks taking the paint away. I think that's always difficult for the Celtics to deal with. They want to shoot a lot of threes early in the clock, so I think many of those shot attempts came by design, which I know is going to frustrate Nick on a night like this. And it's one of those nights that scares me. You're going to have a night like this in the playoffs. Maybe not quite like this. This is the worst shooting night of the year. But you'll shoot below 30%.
It'll be more. I mean, it'll glare worse in the playoffs, Bobby.
I don't think they could. I don't think they could find rotations that counteracted it. Double big continues to struggle. Grant still isn't playing great, and you look for Muscala and Blake minutes, and they gave you next to nothing.
Well, they didn't really go to Muscala
they didn't get
enough.
But
11
minutes.
Before we get into that, I'm a little surprised by the Brogdon comments. I didn't expect him to say that they played good basketball tonight. And I mean, I do agree that they did miss open shots, especially early on. But I don't think there was much creativity to finding plan B.
Especially early.
Right. I mean, they were just shooting shots, and they weren't falling. There wasn't really much else going on. So I'm kind of surprised to hear that, I guess, take from him. It sounded like Al Horford maybe was coming from a different perspective. Were you there for Al?
Yeah. He's always going to strike an optimistic tone, though I don't think he was thrilled with how they played tonight. Gary asked him about teams trying to send a message against them, and he said that's always going to be a factor, and he felt like they did send a message tonight, the Knicks. I feel like the Knicks have shown through the course of the season, other than that one other game here where the Celtics hit 1,000,000 threes, broke the franchise record from three. They're going to make you take those shots, and if you can't hit them, it's going to be difficult to score against their big men and their physicality. And I thought the defense, only giving up 109 doesn't look bad, but the defense really laps throughout flows of this game too, giving up a ton of free throws. You I thought playing with very little force against Julius Randle. Even RJ Barrett got off some physical hook shots inside. They took it to the interior, and then you had that late putback by Mitchell Robinson, who I think is a very difficult matchup for Rob.
Well, they let Mitch. Well, that's what I can't stand. Okay, I'm glad that you said that. I keep hearing that Rob Williams is one of the best defensive players in the NBA, and
he was bad tonight. Yeah,
but there shouldn't be a bad matchup for Rob Williams when it comes to playing defense. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Rebounding, so you're telling me now that Mitchell Robinson all of a sudden is the kryptonite for Rob Williams, and I'm telling you that Rob Williams is broken.
He doesn't look great right now.
And you're right. Mitchell Robinson did have a good game: 10 points, 13 rebounds, 5 of 5 from the field, 2 steals, 2 blocks. I mean, did his thing. I mean, we did talk about Rob already on the show, Bobby, but I would like to get your opinion on what you saw from him tonight, and that's where my real concern's at.
They made him switch, and shooters kept shooting it over him, and they kept making it over him. I haven't seen as many shots go down against him as they did tonight, ever, I don't think, especially jump shots. And I don't know if it's a lack of elevation that he's getting against them. I don't know if it's a positioning thing that he's getting there late. Got to go back and watch a lot of that stuff. But I just remember Josh Hart in particular raining down shots against him in switches. I thought the Celtics struggled in rotation in this game. I thought they struggled to defend the fast break for much of this game. And they stayed big, right, Jimmy? They didn't go small often tonight. And Joe said they wanted to try to find some advantages in there by using some of the force, some of that size. And it's just that it continues to not be a lineup that generates great advantages for them in any area of the game. I don't think they're defending exceptional with that group out there. Of course, you have no Jalen tonight, so it's not that 5 from last year. But Derek White should be a good enough complement. And I don't think White played enough tonight as they stay big. I thought Brogdon wasn't involved enough throughout large flows of this game. And they kept trying to get Rob out there and generate something with that. He had a few nice blocks inside, but other than that, his contest didn't swing the game too much. And that's usually the biggest benefit of having him out there. Yeah, you'll get putbacks. Yeah, you'll get alley-oops at times. But him contesting a million shots is what you want to see. And instead, he ended up getting beat on a million shots in this one. And man, the Knicks look good tonight. They really took it to the Celtics.
Bobby, any word on the headbands pregame?
No.
No one asked him about Jalen's status?
He'll be back Wednesday.
We don't know what happened?
No. You know,
so the whole team wore
label.
Right. But I'm just saying the whole team wore black headbands. I'm wondering if there's some. I don't want to speculate. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I didn't see that. No.
The whole team wore black, and then they were asked about it. Okay, so Ahmed said not serious. Of course, I don't believe much of what Joe says, but Joe said not serious.
Yeah, he'll be back Wednesday, he said.
But I mean, they were all wearing black headbands.
Someone got asked, though, you said?
Huh?
Someone got asked about it?
Yeah, I don't know which player, but on NBC they said that just for no reason, sometimes they like to wear them or something on those.
Well, hey, maybe it's a team bonding.
Maybe like the weight training room that was like the turnaround last year. I don't know, but I was just hoping the two weren't correlating with
Bobby,
each other.
take us through some of these Tatum quotes that are starting to pop up here.
Yeah, Tatum. He kind of nonchalant about the ejection. He said it is what it is for the most part, and he was kind of joking with the ref, saying it was his best officiated game he'd ever seen as he was on his way out. Very demonstrative. He certainly earned the second one, running back, and then continuing to complain. That's always going to get you the second one. It's not great, right? You don't want to see it. It's a part of his game that's frustrated us forever. It also hasn't been that bad from him this year compared to past years. I think you've seen worse from Smart. I think you've seen worse from Grant. And then it flared up here with Tatum tonight. And I don't like it becoming sort of a scapegoat for their play. I don't think officiating played a massive role in this game. The Knicks played more physically and they drew more free throws. Celtics shot a million threes. You're not going to get many free throws from
Thank you, Bobby.
You know, so you don't like to see it. At the same time, I see this stuff around the league, Nick, and it does drive me crazy. Didn't we talk about this the other night, Jimmy, about the loose technicals and just how quick they are to call them against certain guys, and Tatum's certainly under the microscope. a guy like LeBron's never going to draw one, even as he dances across the parquet and slides across the floor at the end of a game. So it's inconsistent. I think Tatum gets a tough whistle when it comes to those. He has 10 now on the season. I didn't love the reaction post-game from him, as nonchalant as he was. And, the team kind of took it in stride, saying that it hasn't been as much of a problem for them recently. And I would agree with that.
What hasn't been as much of a problem?
The complaining.
Right. Okay, they're professionals. They are professionals. Why are we appeasing it? Like, why are we saying, oh, it's not that bad? It's really not that. No, it's bad. And Jason Tatum making these comments are only putting him more in the ire of the officials.
Well, that's what you
They
worry
have
about.
meetings before every game. They have meetings after every game. And they discuss this stuff. Like, they're humans.
I don't
Jason
think there's any
Tatum
doubt
is
about
showing them up. And
Yeah.
Right.
and he's going to lose that battle. He will lose it. I'm sorry, he will.
Well, it's like anything in life, you play favorites after enough time, or the opposite. If you just like, I'm so sick of this guy, like there's no way I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt or give him a whistle tonight. He's this, he's that, whatever. So yeah, you're right. You don't.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but especially when it trickles down the roster. Grant acts like a goof, and he starts flipping out. I'm not saying this happened tonight, but you've seen it over and over. Marcus gets thrown out, and Joe continually appeases them. Like, it's not going to stop if you don't. And in the playoffs, it is going to be a massive issue. Jimmy, you're laughing. The playoffs are only 20 games away,
I'm laughing at the comment. That's all.
Oh, okay, sorry. But they are only 20 games away. I mean, this is playoff prep time right now. You can't
I agree.
You can't have 6-point games from Rob Williams. You can't. Now, here's the thing. You could have 6-point games if he's there. He was not in this game. He did not exist.
Sure. I don't want to go. I want to stick on Tatum for a minute. So, few quotes that I'm reading, and Bobby, you were there, so you can tell me how serious they were. Here's the first one. Jason Tatum. All the great players get thrown out from time to time, so it's good for my rep.
Yeah, those aren't going to play well.
That's a direct quote, right?
Yep.
I mean, he's joking, obviously, I would imagine.
Joking, yeah.
But still, it's like you just got worked and you got kicked out, and I don't know. Is it really?
Is the approach he took? He joked with the refs as they went off. Said,
Here's another one.
His best ref game ever.
Yeah, I ain't been home in 2 weeks. Miss my bed. Miss Deuce. Get a home cooked meal. Okay, well, no one's gonna feel bad for you. You went to the All-Star game. I wouldn't say that you've been. You're not.
And then he went on vacation. Like, they had 5 days off.
And then, yeah, Bobby, the quote I think you're talking about. Jason Tatum on working the rest before the ejection. I told him this is the best officiated game I've been a part of. Tried to give him a compliment. Yeah. So, a lot of jokes. I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, you just got worked on the, you just got worked.
This could have been a 3-game losing streak the way they played.
This isn't a time to be funny, okay? Take some accountability. Own up for some of the mistakes you made out there. Man up a little bit. Stop bitching and moaning every time you score, even. I mean, this guy's complaining after made buckets constantly. So, I don't like these quotes, and I haven't seen them, Bobby, but I'm believing you where, you just said
you hit it right. You hit it right.
So, I don't like it. Again, I said this right off the top of the show. I said, I hope the Celtics just have amnesia and forget everything about this game. I hated everything
If I hear one more time, relax, Nick, everyone is human. This has been going on for
Nick's gonna start blocking people.
This has been going on for 2 or 3 years now. It has been a massive issue when Jason Tatum gets taken out of the game by the referees. Stop. As fans, you deserve better. He needs to get that under control, just like I need to get my emotions right now under control.
Right. You guys both have something to work on tonight.
But the truth is, everybody's got to just stop. Sometimes people have issues they have to work on. That's something Jason Tatum has said. I need to work on that. We have Jason's sound we're going to play in a minute. So everybody who's defending him, stick around. I started the first half of the show go ahead, Bobby. I'm sorry.
The real issue, Nick, is he isn't playing well. He hasn't played well since the break. Thought he looked rough in Philly, and he didn't play great in that Indiana game either, really. So he's stacking up some games below his standards. 9 of 25 in Indiana, 7 of 17.
here's my thing. I don't
What,
mean to
Nick?
interrupt you, but
You just stop interrupting everybody, Nick.
Jimmy, you've been
Okay?
interrupting the whole show. I'm just
No,
trying
I
to get
haven't
word
been.
in.
I'm getting interrupted by
Listen,
you, Bobby.
Bobby,
Finish your point.
Go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, I was running through the recent stats.
I don't want to hear all the
9
stats,
of 25, 7 of 17, and what was he tonight? Another poor shooting night.
Okay, but let's look at what he's done
you, Bobby.
around the shooting. Like tonight, he had 9 assists. I mean, he hit the game winner against Philly. I mean, I'm okay to say he's human, but he's doing other things. And then there's a night like tonight where he gets taken completely out of the game. I mean, you're gonna have slumps. And for those that are saying, this ain't the playoffs, right? Or isn't the playoffs right now? Guess what? Every game from the 20 game mark on is a playoff.
Well,
building up to the playoffs.
I keep saying this,
tighten
Nick,
your
and-
rotations. Go ahead, Bobby.
And if you think officiating comes into this and that'll hurt them in the playoffs, it could. I don't see him getting ejected from a playoff game because we know how that works. But if it's a distraction point for them, you worry about that. But I worry about the three-point shooting and them going cold in a game like this. That'll definitely happen in a playoff series. And how can they counteract it? It doesn't look like they even really want to try. And it doesn't look like they have the personnel to do it more often than not. And then you look at their inability to score against the teams that take the paint away from them. And it's happened over and over again. The chat freaks out when I mention Toronto, who they've beaten, who got better at the trade deadline, and is a potential first-round opponent. You worry about facing a team like that.
Yes.
And even Philadelphia, when Joel Embiid was out there guarding the paint, they really struggled to score. And you can throw Miles Turner in that with Indiana. These teams that really protect the rim well give this offense fits. And we keep going back to it, Jimmy. We've talked about with John forever. This offense, it's been so good this year. You look at the big picture, they've made so many strides, but they go through these lapses where it really gets dysfunctional. And you saw it when they blew that 10-point lead against Philadelphia late in that last game. You saw it all of tonight. They're so jump shot dependent, and that can go bad. Like it's balanced out well. They have a ton of good shooting, and it's made for a great regular season. But when it comes to analytics, when the sample size gets smaller, things can swing the other way. And if you're buying into it 1,000%, it can lead to some issues over a short playoff series against a tough matchup, especially when you're missing a guy. And we can't ignore that there was no Brown tonight against a fully healthy Knicks team. But these issues have happened when they've been fully healthy, like the last 2 games as well.
Definitely. We're getting a little fire. We're getting a little fiery on the show, and I like it. But this is what the Celtics do when they play the way they play.
And then they put me on the show.
This is real emotion, guys. What do you want from us? We're invested in this team just like you guys are too. So, in past months, would probably tell everyone to go to calm.com/garden and just take some deep breaths and in and out and find your zen. But we got a couple different sponsors. So another really cool sponsor of ours right now is BetterHelp. BetterHelp.com/garden will get you 10% off your first month of online therapy. And online therapy is a thing that's really taken off over the last few years, especially since COVID started, where a lot of people are doing a lot more things via video and online. And one of the great things about BetterHelp.com is that if you are feeling a little bit lost or off track, or find yourself, I don't know, screaming into the computer screen about the Celtics, you might want to think about talking to somebody, right? Talking, not yelling, right, Nick? And BetterHelp.com, what they do is they kind of do the work for you. They line you up with a licensed therapist and sort of get you on your way to becoming a better you, right? So we're really excited about this sponsor. I'm somebody who can certainly vouch for therapy and all the positives that it can do for you. So again, guys, if you want to, all you got to do is go to betterhelp.com/garden, sign up, you fill out a brief questionnaire, you get matched with a licensed therapist, and that's honestly it. And if the one you got matched, if the one you get matched with turns out not being the right one, and sometimes that happens, and that's completely fine and normal, they'll line you up with a new one, no extra charge. So if you want to live a more empowered life, if you want to get yourself back to maybe who you know is the best version of yourself, visit betterhelp.com/garden today. Get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/garden. I know that we are working on getting this Jason Tatum video to you guys soon, and that will be coming about 2 minutes or so.
Can I ask Bobby? Well,
Yeah, Nick.
Can I ask Bobby a question?
You have the floor, Nick.
Thanks, Jimmy. You know, I come on twice a year. You know, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh yeah, there's a reason.
Bobby.
It's like first take right now.
Just kidding, Nick. We love you. We have you on every show, but you always bail on us. So I'm glad that you didn't bail this time.
Bobby, thank you, Bobby. Why can't they switch it up a little? Like, why can't? I know I'm going to get called an old head.
Offensively.
Yeah, like, why do they keep, like, why?
You saw Smart try tonight. You saw him posting up the guards.
Smart did try, and you know what? Like, I saw against Detroit last week, they posted up Al 3 or 4 times in a row, and good things happened on the high post. He got two scores, scored 2 baskets, and got an assist, and then they went away from it. They were posting up Tatum a couple weeks ago. Like, why can't they acknowledge that the shots aren't going down and let that game come back to them? Make a couple buckets, get to the line. Nothing like promotes scoring or getting out of a slump more than any baskets at all. Like, even 2-footers. Like, in my day, that was a good shot, a 2-footer. You know what I mean?
Let's give the guy that was
2-footers
missing.
Is still good.
Let's give the guy that was missing some credit for how important he's been this year. We don't do that a ton here. Jalen, the mid-range efficiency this year from him has been so important. Last game, you watched the beginning of that game again. I went back and watched the whole thing. They would have fallen out of that game fast if he wasn't piling up those shots and getting out in transition, which he's so great at. And he complements Tatum's game in terms of scoring from different areas on the floor in an important way. And you're starting to look at him being missing from a game like this and remember how valuable he is. I think we've almost taken for granted this year how efficient, how dominant, and how effective he can be at breaking the offense open when it gets cold, when it gets stagnant. He had a great finish last game through Embiid.
Yeah. He really is.
Somebody tell me what this means, please.
Rom-com?
Jimmy looks like a random dude in a early 2000s rom-com that nobody has
seen. That looks like a meme to me that might be forthcoming.
I'm gonna take that as a compliment and move on. I love a good rom-com.
You know, to me, Bobby, it's just very, very, very frustrating.
I think you need flexibility offensively. You do. And what stinks, and this goes back to the deadline, and I'm going to go back to the deadline, even though I liked what Muscala brought those first few games. Then you get healthy and you're not using him. You're going to Blake early in this game. I don't understand that. I asked Joe about it, and he just said matchups. So all he left it at. And then you go to Muscala in the second half, and he doesn't play in 3 games. It's a really tough matchup defensively against this team that's targeting guys, and sure enough, it didn't go well. So rotation-wise, I think they're in a little bit of a flux right now, and the things they didn't do at the deadline, you saw a great addition on the Knicks side in Josh Hart. He was awesome in this game. But Muscala didn't impact this game, and I look up at Toronto and Jakob Poeltl and the things he's doing. How many times have we talked about
Poeltl? I was waiting for Jakob Poeltl. Come on.
Yeah, he's brought him up every show.
No more Cornette. We don't hear anything about Cornette anymore. This is the new one.
He's shooting 73%. Let me pull up his stats in Toronto so far. I think this is going to blow people away, what he's doing with that team so far. Right now, he's shooting 75% from the field, 14 points a game. Those are all in the paint, so you're getting those basket looks. 9.8 rebounds a game, 2 blocks, 2 steals. He's dominating for them. And he's starting there, right? He wouldn't be starting here. He'd be playing limited minutes, and he's a free agent to be. I get all the reasons they didn't do it, and it would have cost them a first, maybe 2, given what Toronto offered.
Bobby, I just struggle with this, Muscala. I mean, he wasn't given the opportunity. 11 minutes? He wasn't given the opportunity.
I don't know why he's not playing right now. He didn't play at all the last 2 games.
And where's Pritchard? I mean, they can't throw it in the ocean from 3. If they're going to continue to chuck them, like, why don't you put in a good 3-point shooter? Like, just to mix it up.
I don't get it. I mean, you went to Blake early, and then you mix it up late with Muscala when it's too late. Yeah, I don't think Joe coached a great game tonight.
I'm with you.
Okay, guys, we got the Tatum sound. So we talked about it earlier.
Boy.
This is Jason Tatum after being ejected in tonight's 109-94 loss.
It's tough, right? The first one, no call. If you look, it was clearly a foul. And those are the ones that's tough. Something that you probably was right about. Second one, I just told him this was probably the best officiated game I've been a part of. I tried to give him a compliment. Didn't go over so well.
So you didn't curse. You were just sarcastic in a sense.
I said it was the best officiated game I've been a part of. I meant it.
When you said reaction to the first tech, I didn't see a replay. Was it hanging on the rim, or did you say something that you thought you were fouled?
I guess it was like my gesture when I came down, not from hanging on the rim. Hanging on the rim was like trying to protect myself.
He's going to get fined.
I don't know, and I don't really care. I mean, that's the take he's going with. So that was Jason Tatum. I mean, he's
frustrated.
He's frustrated, but he's also kind of playing it off. I know that we read a couple other quotes of his that we didn't get in that clip, but that's okay. Just the one, all the players get thrown out from time to time, so it's good for my rep. I imagine that was a joke too. Bobby, did you get a sense of frustration tonight, or was it just guys just saying, it's just one of those games?
No, and I knew it was going to be. This is what drives me crazy about the 3-point thing, because everyone's shooting a ton of threes. Everyone's doing this analytics thing, and I get it. But 30 teams aren't going to win the championship from shooting a million threes. So if they're not going down in the playoffs, you're going to need to adjust. I mean, tonight, you understand it. You're the best team in the league. You played great in the last 2 games down the stretch to win, and it's a 2-1 road trip, which you can accept. But in a big playoff game, in a game 7, are you going to be able to say, man, we got good looks. They just didn't go down. We went 9-42 or whatever it was tonight. It's not going to be an acceptable answer to a playoff loss. And so you're looking for other things they can do. You're looking for different play styles, and you're looking for adjustments. And you didn't have them tonight. And I get a little worried about their reliance on it. I get a little worried about the rotations right now because I don't think they're looking good.
Very. And this is the time where you got to start tightening them. You have to. 19 games left.
And they're good defensively, Nick, but they don't look as forceful as last year.
No, not at all.
Yeah, they're not shutting down teams for 10, 15 possessions on a string. They went on a little run in this game when they got the starters out there in the second half, but just a very short one. And then all of a sudden they're getting scored on again on a couple key plays. That offensive rebound, Robinson grabbed over Rob. Just key little points where they lose this game.
Bobby, it ain't going to get easier. I mean, you got Cleveland twice and New York again.
We talked about this, Jimmy. The schedule, yeah.
Yeah.
Big test. And the Knicks come into the Garden again on Sunday.
Yep. And that's a litmus test. You got embarrassed at MSG to a degree,
I think you'll see this Knicks team in round 2. I think it's possible.
It'd be great. It'd be fun.
Yeah, I got to look at the standings, but they could beat Philly. They could beat Cleveland in those middle seeding rounds. They should miss the play-in, which would be good for them. They're a good team. They're well coached, too. I mean, Tibbs has done a really good job with this team. And Brunson, man, he can play.
He's a dog. He's a dog.
Imagine this team with Donovan Mitchell. If I'm a Knicks fan right now, I'm thinking, what could have been if we had him with this group?
That would be something else. But, Tibbs likes this group. I just saw a quote on Twitter. He called them all gym rats and something else. Like, these guys seem to work hard. They're buying in. I think Tibbs can be very demanding of guys, and it might take a little bit sometimes to almost like Ime, right? In a way. Tibbs is old school, and he's obviously defensive minded. He wants guys to work hard. He wants guys to play.
You see him flipping out on the sideline. Did you see that all game?
Yeah, he's just constantly. I think that's his like level state.
Yep.
Right? He needs to be mad about something at all times, I think. And yeah, he's got guys playing great basketball right now. Brunson's turned into an unbelievable, acquisition for them. What's his name?
And the league's better when New York is good.
Yep.
Totally. It's been,
Philly.
30 years?
Yeah. I mean, they're the most overrated franchise in the history of sports.
Yeah.
I mean, they have one
All right.
championship.
We got one more Tatum quote. We might as well throw it up here since our video quality's been a little spotty today, but we'll just roll with it
Typical
anyway.
CLNS quality here.
Yeah.
I don't know, but all the great players get thrown out a few times in their career, so it's good for my rep.
He's getting fined, and I'm going to tell you something.
Jokey. That's not. He's not going to get fined for that. I don't think he's going to get fined for that. The point is not about whether or not he gets fined. Who gives a shit? The point
I wasn't
is,
able to make my point.
right, but I want to make mine real quick.
Go ahead.
How about some accountability instead of the jokes? I don't know. That's where I come in with that. I mean, like, yeah, he's right. All great players do probably get kicked out of games, and a lot of bad players probably get kicked out of games too. One doesn't equal the other. I just didn't like you're the leader of the team. You know, I think you kind of have to take on some of that responsibility after a night like they had, instead of sort of brushing it off. We lost Nick again. Bobby, am I off on this?
We're right to have high standards for this team. Again, the regular season's been so great. I love what Joe's done. I love everything the team up and down the roster accomplished stride-wise early this season. Their first quarter of the year was sensational.
They've got to stop.
And they've had these stretches where they've reached that level, but it's been so inconsistent since the first quarter of the season ended. I think you're starting to see now that they're closer to the pack than it looked like at that time, especially when the threes don't fall, and you wonder if they're starting to go into a little bit of those slumps that they did in December, January again now, because they did have a great stretch of shooting, Hauser and the rest coming before the break, and in the last couple of games as well. So you worry about that, and you just worry that this team with a lot on the line might not have quite enough to win a championship. We know the Bucks are going to be tough. We know there'll be early playoff matches that are tough, and whoever gets out of that West is going to be super, super tough, especially if the Suns look like they can be what we imagine them to be with Durant healthy. But there's other potentially great opponents out there as well. So they're in pole position. I still consider them the championship favorite, but the cracks, the weaknesses, and the inconsistency have shown enough to make you not be stunned if they lose, even short of the finals. The East is tough. You see it on nights like this. You're going to keep seeing it all week into next week. I just wish they'd tighten up a little bit, Jimmy. And back to what you just said, the accountability, maybe the frustration with a game like this. I get that they want to take a level-headed approach on a night-to-night basis. But I think if you look at the whole over the past couple months here, it's been too up and down. And I don't feel enough reaction to that.
Since the greatest offense in NBA history, what has their silliness? That's the dumbest, and I hear it all the time. What has
the
their
Kings
record
are there
been
right
since?
now.
Nick, how do they compare
What
to
is Sean Grandy? I love Sean Grandy, but is he tweeting about the Kings right now?
The Kings, after their 176 the other night.
That's an embarrassment to basketball. Can you tell me what their record is since that? Bobby?
So they hit their peak in that first Suns game out west, which was on December 7th. So since December 8th, if we're throwing it back to that date, they are now 1 second to crunch those. 23-12, which pretty good.
It's not bad.
That's fourth in the league over that stretch. Their offense is 15th. So you go from like the best ever to average.
History.
Yeah. And your defense is third. They have a great defense. And overall, that brings them to 6th. Behind the Knicks. The Knicks have been better over that stretch. Behind Cleveland, behind Memphis, behind Philly, behind Denver. So they're in the mix. There's no doubt about it. And other teams have struggled. I mean, the Bucks, that really fearsome Bucks team's 22nd in offense over that stretch. You look at Miami, a team you fear, they're 26th. So you always want to compare to what other teams are doing. And other teams have had their struggles. Other teams have had their lapses. And I still think on the whole, the Celtics have one of the best profiles, period, this year. If we're doing the full season, the full sample size so far, they're first in net rating by a hair over the Cavs. They're third in offense, and they're fourth in defense. Any team across the league would look at that position and be thrilled to be there.
Absolutely.
But we've seen it go up and down a little bit.
You agree with this comment?
Oh, did they lose it tonight, right?
Yeah, they lost it tonight.
Will they get it back is the question.
It's impossible to predict when you're dependent upon the 3-point shot going in.
And availability, right?
And availability. Yep.
You get a couple injuries down the stretch, you're not getting it. If the Bucks get a couple injuries, they're not getting it. Yep. Giannis just got hurt, right? But they're winning without Giannis.
LeBron broke the record, and now he's out for the season. You see,
he's not out for the season, dude.
Well, I mean, they're out of the playoff hunt. I mean, that's it.
The injury doesn't sound good.
No, it's several weeks. They said
they're half game back of the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I have endless respect for LeBron. I'm just busting balls, but the availability. What is the saying? The best ability is availability. And the Celtics, in their defense, you're naming off that record, Bobby, and I'm thinking to myself as you're saying it, they have had so many injuries. They have
Fair
had
point as well. And this has all happened while they've slipped a little bit.
Yep.
And you expect when you get healthy that there's going to be an adjustment period. You're playing with guys again and with the coach figuring out who to play when.
Yep.
I think that's been a huge adjustment period for Joe and them this week. And they've won 2 games while doing it. So credit to them for that. But tonight wasn't good.
Tonight wasn't good, Bobby, and I'm gonna let you guys close out with this, and then Jimmy can talk the rest of the show.
I got nothing left.
Well,
we're all gonna close out together. So if you have a final thought,
no, I'm good. My final thought is this, and I hate to leave with this after Tatum's comments, but it's the last game of a road trip that spanned through the All-Star game. It's one game. They're gonna come back in Boston. Hopefully Jalen is back. Hopefully nothing too serious there, and they bounce right back. I mean, that's the one thing about this team. I mean, you cannot predict anything because they're so erratic in just about everything. Every game they come out with, it's different every game. They're just so streaky. That Philadelphia game, I never seen streaks like that. That was crazy on both sides. So I honestly think at the end of the day, it's one game. It's one game. So I was glad I was here for it because, you put me in for the losses, baby. It's like putting gasoline on a fire.
There's definitely some correlation there.
I want the wins, man.
Yeah,
I want the wins.
Well, then the next time they win, you have to come on. How about that?
Jason Tatum sent
I'm on.
Jason Tatum sent the tweet out in the last few minutes.
It wasn't about Bron.
He retweeted the video of him, the play he thought he got fouled by Randall on, and he said, "LOL, this is what I get for fouling Bron."
That was true. I thought that was in the chat, and it was a joke. Dude, I'm going to tell you, I mean, I know he's frustrated, but, man, you can't do this.
This is what he gets for what? Oh, for fouling LeBron. Right, I got you.
He's also 6 texts from a suspension.
That's a big number. Does that reset for the playoffs?
I believe so.
It does.
Where's Draymond? Just kidding.
Draymond's 1 short of a suspension.
I mean, if he's the model right there. I mean, so Jason, if that's what you want to go for it. But
that's what frustrates me, Nick. Tatum can't swing his arm without getting attacked, and Green can loom over the officials and scream his head off and not get attacked. And he does get him because he pushes it. But there's an inconsistency, and Jimmy talked about it last show. I loved it because it's ridiculous. No one can show emotion. No one can respond to calls. And did Tatum push it? I think especially in the second, he was probably looking to get ejected. But the first one, he pushed his arms out. He hung on the rim, as he said, to not fall. And he got attacked.
I understand the frustration, but you can't have it every single game.
Well, Bob,
right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like when players bitch and moan at the refs. I think it's petty when the refs call a ticky-tack tech for those things. But I hate when players get called for techs for showing emotion against other players. That's what I really hate.
Oh, okay.
That's emotion that, in my opinion, is in a good place.
The smart Halliburton thing,
Yeah, that's fun. That's what we want.
The fans want that, yes.
Yeah. I don't want to see players bitching at the refs. And, I mean, if we can get that out of the game, fine. I mean, I want refs to make the right call. I want to avoid the whole situation to begin with. But my biggest issue is when they don't even let players, trash talk each other. That's... Since the beginning of time, that's what we've been about, kind of, right? So that's a big issue for me. But I mean, it holds true with refereeing too. I mean, you got to show respect. There's a line, right? And you should be able to show your maybe dissatisfaction with a call, and still keep it in line with not being disrespectful. So
I agree with that, Jimmy. But you know what? The one thing that hasn't changed in all the years of 70 years of basketball that I would think is that you can piss off the referees and you will lose. Because, I mean, even going back decades, it was an issue. People get labeled. Look at Marcus Smart when he was, with the flopping, remember? he had a target on his back for a hell of a long time. So it took him a long time to really shake that. Jason ain't doing anything to help himself. I kind of like the comments because they're stupid funny, and you could see, but at the same time, he's hurting himself. It's immature.
Well, let's see
and
where
he
they
needs
go
to not
from
do
here.
that.
Let's
Yeah,
see
I mean,
how
it's
they
one game.
respond to
It's one
this,
game.
yeah.
It's one game.
And I think we all love what they did last game. The Pacers one was a tough game out of break that they responded well to a couple of runs into overtime. And as we said, they're still kind of figuring out these rotations right now.
Well,
and as they get healthier, they'll get more reps together. Hopefully they get enough rest down the stretch as well. And I do think the 1 seed's important because of the home court advantage thing against the Bucks. But in terms of a first round matchup, you should beat whoever you see there. And if you're better than the Bucks,
yes,
I think you should win a game 7 even on the road. But it's tough. That's a tough environment. It is. And that's a tough team.
I mean, my final thought is, well, 2 things. Bobby, you mentioned at the top, and I just posted a comment from somebody who's like, you guys are overreacting to one game. Yeah, we're doing a freaking podcast after every damn game. Do you want
it's
60
a post-game show?
Do you want 65 of the games to be like, it's only one game?
We've talked about the big picture
every
too,
show, we're just like, guys, it's just one game. Like, who the hell would watch the show? So yeah, we're gonna freaking overreact to games where there's things worth overreacting to. I thought Jason Tatum tonight was borderline embarrassing during the game and after the game, and now going into Twitter. And again, if you should be upset with the fact that you guys lost the game. You shouldn't be upset with the fact that they missed a call on you, or that you got a unnecessary tech, because you put yourself in that position. So I'm kind of frustrated with that. It is one game. They didn't have Jaylen Brown tonight. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, if Jaylen Brown plays, this thing could go a completely different direction. We know that Jaylen Brown is a certified bucket getter now in his career, and they needed buckets tonight. So are we talking about a Celtics win tonight if Jaylen Brown plays? Quite possibly, yeah. So what do you want us to do? Just do a 10-minute show and say they didn't have Jaylen Brown tonight? No, we're going to talk about the guys who played, the things that went right and the things that went wrong. And that's just the way it went tonight. So Jaylen Brown returns for the next game, maybe gets him back on track. Bobby, the rotations look a little bit more in order, and you look a little bit more like the Celtics. But I think Tatum, in a situation where the number 1A guy is out, needs to put the team on his back, like our good friend Cedric Maxwell would say, right? And be a leader out there and get these guys in the right mindset, not to be going at the referees. Go against the Knicks. Don't go against the referees. I didn't see any emotion towards the Knicks tonight. None.
No. And who's coming up on Wednesday?
They let the Knicks do whatever the hell they wanted. The Knicks bullied them out there tonight.
They did. They were very physical.
The one thing, I mean, as we're saying all this, I'm thinking about those tweets. He really, really called out the NBA for favoriting LeBron. Not just favoriting him, protecting him. Adam Silver is probably not going to do anything about it, but those are big words to say, I'm getting punished for fouling LeBron. That's a big act. It's a claim. That's a claim.
Yeah, we know it's tongue in cheek, but yeah, it's definitely.
No, it's saying what half the fan base thinks that aren't Lakers fans, right? So it's kind of corroborating what a lot of people say about the NBA critically. And now one of the superstar and MVP top favorite, right? Top five favorite is saying, I got payback for fouling Bron. I've never seen another player call out like that. I mean, I know this is frustrating to Jimmy, but it's the truth.
It's happened more in recent years. Remember the Grizzlies did it.
He's joking, Nick. It's a joke. He's friends with LeBron.
Thank you, David. Thank you. He's totally joking, but he's joking about things that fans all say all the time, which is black stain on the NBA.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the NBA doesn't love it for sure.
No,
but again, I would rather you just be tweeting about that you're disappointed in the way that you guys played.
Exactly. I agree with you.
So whatever. I'm the old. I guess I'm the boomer guy tonight too.
No, I agree with you. I'm the boomer too.
Bobby, anything?
Wednesday.
Anything else?
Wednesday's gonna be tough. That's all I'll say. Cavs team that's beaten you twice. That's did it in a pretty dominant way. I don't think any team's played the Celtics tougher this year than the Cavs did early on. Different rosters now. Both should be fully healthy for that game. Going to be a big one because that's another potential playoff opponent who can take the paint away, plays very physical, and on top of it has those 2 lethal scoring options. Probably even more dangerous than the Knicks. So going to be telling how they match up with that team specifically.
What's up for you tonight in New York, dude? You got all night over there right now.
I'm going to find Josue first,
club.
and then
what
from there we'll.
Josue,
Some technical difficulties.
We missed Josue tonight. We're gonna hopefully get him on the next show. You guys are gonna have fun tonight. I know it. 4 a.m. in New York City.
Josue's a good time, man, out in the city too. He likes to go have fun. It'll be a good time.
Well,
you
that's
guys
my
will go
permission.
crazy.
Permission from the boss, right?
Permission granted, man. You put in the work.
Oh wow, there it is.
See you guys.
Guess we won't be getting any articles tonight. We'll just... Bobby, Bobby, is that slick back or push back? Your hair slick back
slick
tonight?
back. Yeah, it was getting a little crazy, so I threw a bunch in there.
Very Michael Corleone of you there.
Maybe sloppy steaks in New York City tonight.
I'm gonna get a haircut when I go back.
I love that. Okay.
All right.
Well, that's it for us, guys. I want to thank Nick for jumping on and joining us.
It was fun.
We always love having Nick on. Bobby, thank you for all the hard work over there at the Big Apple.
Thank you. We'll see you back in Boston
Tell
Wednesday.
Josue we look forward to seeing him on the next show. And everybody who stayed up with us tonight after a tough Celtics game, they fall to the Knicks 109-94. Just a quick reminder, this podcast was brought to you by Athletic Greens. Go to athleticgreens.com/garden for 5 free travel packs, 1-year supply of vitamin D, and a new Garden Report t-shirt that is hot off the presses, literally burning off the presses. Right now they're being made, and we are really excited to get these out into the wild. So if you guys hit up athleticgreens.com, you'll be the first to rock these shirts, right, Nick? And Nick is gone too. So
it's really funny because the first thing we both said coming out, this is not going to be a 90-minute post-game show. Look at the time.
I know. I always say that, dude. Trust me. I'll pay for it tomorrow. Trust me. But
me too.
Hey, we ended up having more to talk about than we thought. So I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. It was fun. It always is. And we want to thank everybody who joined us, who watched, who commented.
Thank you, guys.
We appreciate you guys, and we will see you